guys have been...
Just a breath of fresh air. Oh, well, that is very sweet of you to say.
Hello everyone, welcome to another Into the Void Real Review. This time we are reviewing Speak No Evil, the latest from Blumhouse Productions. This is a remake of the original 2022 film of the same name. I've never watched the original, but apparently it's regarded as an excellent movie by those that have watched it. Many of the early reviews say that this remake is pointless given how recent the original was. After all, it did come out in 2022 and it was excellent on its own. I did watch the trailer of the original, however, after watching this one, and I have to say that both movies seem to share the same DNA. And after the most recent one, I am compelled to give the original a watch. If that is a positive endorsement for this one, because of this, I would say that you're right. Possible spoilers follow, so if you're sensitive to that sort of thing, I would stop this video right now until you see it for yourself. Let's get into some specifics. This movie is about a family that decides to spend some time with some new friends they meet while vacationing, thinking it will help their problems with their marriage. Little do they know what awaits them when they stay with those friends at their isolated countryside home. A lot of this film, I have to say, is spoiled if you have watched the trailer for this movie, at least the plot part of the whole thing. But to be honest, that doesn't hurt this film too much because much of the charm of it comes from how the tension and suspense builds throughout as events push forward to a very bloody and violent end. It is true that there are some really bonehead decisions made in this movie that bring it down a notch, and some reviews complain about that. I, for one, think that there, in fact, are some early warning signs that point out that things just are not right with this new family that they meet. Of course, we can see it on the outside. However, I can kind of see why people may be inclined to do the things they do due to not wanting to come off as rude.
Just a breath of fresh air. Oh, well, that is very sweet of you to say.
There are lots of people out there that think people inherently have their best interests at heart and aren't out to take advantage of them. Most people. Okay, maybe not so much in today's social climate. I get it. But come on, let's be honest. You have to kind of have a suspension of disbelief. Otherwise, there's no movie here. It's kind of like how some people are addicted to drama because they're bored with their lives. You know, the people that like to gossip, and then the people at the other end of the spectrum who are out to kill you, like Patty, played by James McAvoy, and Ciara, played by Aisling Franciosi, who played the couple who have a shy and awkward kid, Dan Hugh, who, by the way, is excellent in this. I know everyone says James McAvoy steals the show, and he does, turning in a truly terrifying and creepy performance as an abusive and an abhorrent monster of a human being.
What is wrong with you? I want to back up the car, and I want to leave now.
In the beginning, he exudes a charming and intelligent view of the world that you can't help but nod your head in agreement to. It reminds me of Channing Tatum's Slater King in Blink Twice, a movie I reviewed a couple videos ago. There have been some good villains in movies of late, and while I thought Channing Tatum's Slater King was great, I might have to actually give the bigger performance to James McAvoy's Patty. Makes me want to make a tier list of the best villains in movies. But Dan Hugh as Ant is quite good as a tortured kid who has been abused in the worst possible way, mentally and physically. He has to put in a performance without words because he literally has no tongue. That's pretty impressive if you ask me. The performances in this movie really do enhance all the slow build tension throughout. I also like how the American family here is not portrayed as a perfect family that loves each other. Mackenzie Davis as Louise Dalton and Scoot McNairy as Ben Dalton have some very real problems with their marriage. They have each their shortcomings when raising their daughter Agnes, played by Alex West Leffler. Louise coddles her while Ben doesn't know how to take charge as the patriarch of the family. It's excruciating to watch him as he just never stands up to Patty when things get really weird and shady.
I admire you. Louise is a great woman.
And it becomes unnerving to the point that you want to slap him around, especially when his family's lives are in danger. These characters are far from perfect, and I found that refreshing here amid all the unsettling scenes sprinkled throughout.
Proven to boost the immune system.
And we didn't bring our swimsuits.
Oh, that's all right. You can keep your knickers on.
You shouldn't be shy, Louise. Got a great body.
Oh, thank you.
This movie really has some cringeworthy moments where sometimes people make decisions based on the least common denominator of not coming off as less than or even rude to the point of their very endangerment of their lives. There is this contrast between the take charge, highly aggressive attitude of Patty and the hands-off, calm approach of Ben that is fascinating to think about here. It gave me enough to think about after the movie, and as you guys know, I like that. When you think about a movie days after you've watched it, sometimes a movie just needs to make you think to get its claws in you. I guess the movie can be bad and you think about it afterward in that regard, but good movies have a profound impact after the credits rolled that resonate much deeper. Now, I of course knew where this was all going, which hurts the experience a little bit, which is why this is far from a perfect movie. But it's entertaining in a creepy and terrifying way that is punctuated by one of James McAvoy's best performances, with a great supporting performance from Dan Hugh as the shy, awkward kid who you know is going to have some real post-traumatic issues after all this. This is really his story in a nutshell if you think about it. It's why the movie starts with his face in the reflection of the car rearview mirror and ends with the very same reflection at the end of the movie. I give Speak No Evil an 8 out of 10. Now I want to go see the original. So guys, hope you enjoyed this review, and as always, don't forget to like the video and then subscribe to the channel if you want more of this content. Thanks as always, and I will see you in the next one.